My name is Umar Samawe, as usual. I'm back with more about the visualization. This time around, we're trying to visualize data that is about water quality. This is water that has been taken sample from in different districts. So the team did samples of water in different districts, took it to the lab, and looked at the different components within the water, and also looked at the different features. The contents include, let's say, like calcium or magnesium or iron, but then the features also look at the turbidity, then the pH, alkalinity, electrical conductivity. So all these the results came in from the laboratory tests for different districts and had different values for the same. So what we are going to do today is look at how this data it varies in terms of the visualization. So I'm using a tool or a framework called D3. It's a JavaScript framework. It uses the SVG containers, then it also to be able to see the output of it, you should have HTML. That's where the body is written, then a bit of CSS for scripting and designing the different containers and elements within here. So I will showcase 4 visualizations, and I'll try to give some explanation. I think the whole idea is to have some explanation about this data, and straight away I'll just look at this graph that I've been showing here. It's a bar graph showing water pH for each district. So you realize that it's the first district is Wakiso. It has a different pH, lower than, I think the lowest pH, but also when you look at its the alkalinity, the pH is lower here, but the pH is high in the one of ginger. So the pH is more about the acidic bit of it. So the lower the values, the higher the acidity, then the higher the percentages in the pH, the higher the values in pH, the lower the acidity, and because it goes to a neutral, at some point it goes to a neutral value, and then maybe it also crosses over to the alkaline scale, which usually starts about around 7 and above. So this shows you that different districts have different pH, and people, those that are good in the chemical compounds, can really have a conclusion determined on how this pH comes about with the different anions and cations and all components within the water. The other aspect about the visualization, it's about this scatter plot that I did that looks about the conductivity and turbidity of the water. The relationship typically it shows a positive correlation between these two features of water. The conductivity, ideally, the conductivity is the electrical conductivity, And then when you can just realize that as turbidity increases, I will just try to minimize my screen, make it smaller, just to see the scales. I realize as turbidity increases, conductivity tends to increase as well, and that relationship suggests that water samples within the higher levels of suspended particles of higher turbidity tend to have higher levels of dissolved ions, which ideally increases the conductivity, because the iron is a bit of a metal, so it increases the ability of conduction of the electricity. So the correlation may be indicative of the presence of minerals, salts, and other dissolved substances in the water. So as the graph can show here, you really have to overthink about it, but you just have to know, okay, this is work with the lab. My work was to visualize, but it really explains what things bring about higher conductivity, and which components are those. Like one of which is mentioned as iron. So where we have, if you have a chance to look at the data set, the more iron you have, the higher the conductivity, the electrical conductivity of the water sample of a particular district. And you realize that overall, the scatter plot provides visual representation of the relationship between turbidity and conductivity in different districts. It helps identify the patterns, trends, and potential insights into the water quality parameters being analyzed. Further analysis and interpretation can be done by considering additional factors, domain knowledge, and then specific research objectives. So the domain knowledge, there are people who know about the soil science. So some people who have some knowledge about soil science will actually know that really the water that can be at this point can be of higher conductivity or higher turbidity, based on the samples that they find maybe in particular soil, because definitely what is in the soil will also be absorbed maybe in water. My third visual is also looking at conductivity. Again, it's the total hardness, and this total hardness, which is measured in it represents a concentration of calcium and magnesium ions in the water. So which indicates the water's mineral content. So hardness, I think, like we have already seen in science, that if you want to harden something, take more calcium. If you want to harden the bonds, take more calcium. So the higher you have a lot of calcium, you will definitely have something that is hard. The hardness of water in this case is not like the one of a metal. The hardness of water is sometimes you can measure it maybe with the amount of soap that it takes for it to create a particular form that you require. Some water, if you look at the water from the rain, most cases you need to apply a little detergent for it to have a very good form. But there are some water sources whereby you have to put a lot of detergent for you to be able to create good form, which means that such water is hard, and the alga of the rain is actually soft. So that is what hardness means in water. But conductivity is usually is small. Here we're looking about the electrical ability to transmit electrons for that purpose. Generally, by analyzing this scatter plot, anyone that is interested in water quality can gain insights into how total hardness and conductivity vary across different districts. They can identify districts with higher mineral content, conductivity levels, which may have implications for water treatment or resource management. Also, you may realize that let's say a district like let's say a district like Lamo. I think I have it here. A district like Lamo. It has really hard water. So as a person who's doing maybe business, for example, of soap, you know that if people are really mindful that they want their clothes to be able to be clean or and like, so you realize that you might be selling more soap in Lamo as compared to what you were selling in Mukono, because in Lamo the water is really hard and it has less it will have less it will have less foam. It will require a lot of soap for it to create foam. So it can be a tactical of creating more cells in that area more than Mukono. If the number of people remain constant or remain the same in the various districts. Maybe lastly, I would like to also talk about the nitrates. I tried to do my intention here was to do to know about the nitrates concentration in different districts, and like you can see here, each district is shown with a particular color. For example, Mukono is shown with this green color here. The colors are generated using that function. Is a function in my code. I'll be able to share my code. It has I think it is a D3 scheme category 10, something like that. It will give you about 10 colors, but it will be repeating them. That if I finish green here, then I can repeat it the other side, and then repeat it the other side until all districts or all parameters get done. But you just see that here that there are some districts that have a lot of nitrates. For example, Iganga and Iruka, they have a higher, the water there has a higher concentration of nitrates. If I can go back to this, about, yes, I think this is it. About conductivity, stability. There's a point where I mentioned about the water having too much iron, and the conductivity can be a higher one. So you realize that the water in places where there's a lot of pollution, and most cases it also moves with places that have a lot of people. The water there is the minerals there are not easily it's called, which is the right word, dissolvable. So most cases it has a lot of iron. So when you find that it's a district like Mubende or okay, maybe Kamwenge, you find that okay, I'm looking at conductivity, maybe like Luka, I think it has the highest conductivity, and also Lamo. You may find that these ones, the dissolution of oxygen in this water is really a hard one. So we may find that because of due to different pollutants you may find that maybe there's a lot of iron because of the polluted environment, and really you can't. It's a good and no, because it may increase conductivity, but then it may increase also the hardness. So somehow, when it increases the hardness, you require maybe more detergent for you to create enough foam to wash your clothing. So ideally, I've just tried to do what, to summarize my presentation on the D3 visuals that I created. I had 4 visualizations. I'll share my code, and have yourselves a good day, and a nice weekend. You can have comments on my channel. Then I'll try to elaborate more about this aspect. Thank you.